everyone, welcome back to the Angel Baby Show. I'm Elise and I'm here with my sister Ava. I just spoke a little bit about an audition I had this morning and just some audition tips that I typically try to use, practice what you preach. But today I am so excited because my sister Ava, if you are not familiar, was on season 22 of The Voice. And a year ago today, her show was on television. And I remember I was in college and I had like 20 people over and we all watched her and it was amazing. But I can't believe that was a year ago because it really doesn't feel that long ago to me at all. And so Ava, I would love for you to use this segment to just kind of talk about The Voice and looking back on a year ago today and just where you are now. So yeah, take it away.
Yeah, oh my gosh. So it's kind of crazy to me to think that the episode aired a year ago. A year ago, I was at Berkeley. And I remember I like couldn't even watch the episode because it was like on Peacock and everything. So I think I went home and watched it. Um, but it was a crazy whirlwind. I was so nervous. I remember in the opening segment, in the B-roll, they made me like dance because they knew I was on dance team. And so I texted all my dance team friends and I'm like, they made me dance, I promise. Like I don't usually dance like that. But yeah, the episode airing was just crazy for me. It was like so scary. I just remember actually thinking I was gonna have a heart attack. I felt like I was more nervous to watch the actual
Watching,
episode.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's the way you're being portrayed in front of like thousands of people and
Uh-huh.
you don't get any control in what parts of your interviews they put in and what
Really?
they
They don't
don't.
like send you anything in advance and say, "Hey, are we good to post this?"
I will say I got a little sneak peek. I remember the producer of my segment would text me kind of updates and say like, "Oh, this is, what we're looking at," but he didn't send me the whole thing. So it was my first time watching the episode as it was everybody else's.
Yeah.
Um and I just remember being so nervous. And I remember I said I was from like Santa Barbara, which I feel like I regret because we only lived there for like a
No,
year.
I know. It's
And
hard because we move around so much. It's like, I don't know
I
where I'm
know.
from. Like,
Yeah,
remind
exactly.
myself.
Yeah, but it's so scary too because anytime someone finds out about the voice, it's not like the olden days where they can just take my word for it and
Yeah,
like they just assume I'm a good singer. Like they actually just take out their phone in front of me and like look up my episode on YouTube. It happened to me the other day in
I
class.
hate
I was like,
that.
"Oh God, please don't do that." Yeah. I was like, "Please don't do that."
Oh,
Um,
that's so
yeah, I will say like I mean, coming from like a mental health standpoint on it, I definitely get a lot of anxiety when it comes to my episode. I feel like the nerves and the time of day, it was late at night, and just everything wrapped into one. I felt like it wasn't my strongest performance. And I mean, obviously it was enough for two judges to turn around. If you haven't seen it, John Legend and Camila Cabello turned around and I ended up choosing Camila Cabello and I was on Camila Cabello's team. Um, but I feel
but
way stronger about my second performance with my partner. I felt like I was more comfortable. I felt like I sounded better. So I always am, trying to get people to watch the second one rather than the first one. But I think that's just kind of me being a perfectionist, me being
yeah,
annoying,
I kind
and
of want
also
to
no,
sorry, I
no, go
just want
ahead.
to interrupt and say that like when you think, oh, this is one of my worst performances, like Ava's standard is unbelievable. If I sounded anywhere close to you did on that first episode, I would be parading that around town. So like take everything Ava says with a grain of salt when it comes to her talent because she's very humble. But
Oh my
continue.
God.
Sorry, I just
No.
wanted to like,
No, you're so sweet. I just sometimes after a year of it being up and the episode anyone can look it up. Anyone A lot of people have seen it. Um it's just kind of like little comments about like, oh, like why'd you wear this or why that song? And it makes me feel scared like I did the wrong thing, like I picked the wrong coach. But I think just coming from a point where it's like something so big that happens in your life, it changes a lot of things. It changes your perspective on things. It opens up like Pandora's box of what the heck do I want to do with my life. Um so if anyone's watching this and anyone has experienced something similar to that, just kind of have it in your head that like these people who are nitpicking this, like, they don't know the pressure, they don't know like everything that has gone into it. Um,
Right.
with all that being said, though, I am very grateful for the experience and I'm very grateful for the community that it's established. I have friends. I will say my season felt like a very young season. I remember we had like a 15-year-old boy that went on to like really far, a 17-year-old girl like that went on really far. Like we had really young kids that went really far. Um, and so I felt like the whole season was just people kind of like finding themselves, which I felt like was kind of special to be a part of that season because I felt like I was kind of right there with them. But yeah, the community of people are just really kind. Everybody comments on each other's Instagram. When someone's single releases, everybody posts it. And even the upcoming season, actually, I was talking to our executive producer about this, Jeremiah. Hopefully I'm gonna be able to interview people on this season, which is really exciting. And I feel like you know, we'll get some really great conversations because obviously I've been on the show, they've been on it. We both kind of know what's going on. So I think we'll get to some really, deep, meaningful conversations with each other. So I'm looking forward to that actually in the future. But yeah, the community of The Voice is just amazing. The production of The Voice is so efficient, so organized. Um, and I'm really grateful because I think The Voice was exactly the show that you want to showcase your voice. It's literally like the judges can't see you. They don't know what you look like. They
Yeah.
only hear your voice. They're only judging
Yeah.
you on your voice. I think for me as a person, that was really beneficial and really made me feel like I was a good singer.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I think that that's really interesting too about The Voice because I think that like respectfully, like you're very beautiful and you modeled, and so like they just heard you singing. They didn't even know what you looked like. And I'm sure that like not that you've had any identity crisis, but like that probably really made you feel like, okay, like I'm a good singer, like this has nothing to do with how I look or what I'm wearing. This is just my voice and my talent. So that is probably my favorite aspect of the show. And I think that, kind of what you're saying about just random people that have never sang a note in their life and don't know anything about the
Mhm.
industry and just pull things up on their phone and watch it. I always go back to that Roosevelt quote, as corny as it sounds, just like it's not the critic who counts. It's so easy for me to lay on my bed and go on my phone and like judge the outfits at the Met Gala when I'm literally
Yeah.
wearing like a Costco comfy. So I think that like at the end of the day, like just the fact that you got that far and got to put yourself out there, like you should always be proud
Yeah.
of it. There's
Yeah.
only so many opinions out there that really matter, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. As long as I think it was good and as long as I'm proud of myself and my family's proud of me, I think that's really all that matters. But there's so many people that are proud of me though. I'm like making it sound like people could there's so many people that are proud of me. I just, it was kind of a long process to get to where I am now after the year of the episode airing, accepting the imperfections in it and just kind of moving along and increase and getting better at singing, taking
Yeah.
this as a stepping stone. Um, but we need to break. Sadly, this is the last segment of our episode. I don't know how it went by so fast. We talked to an amazing actress. We talked about Nashville. We talked about Rocky Horror. We talked about The Voice. We talked about auditioning tips. So this was a jam-packed episode, and I'm so excited and happy that you guys got to listen to this whole thing, hopefully. Thank you, Jeremiah Higgins, for being our amazing executive producer. Thank you, Dr. D, for making us sound amazing, our sound engineer. And yeah, thank you guys for listening and tuning in and just kind of being here while we get our careers going.